Hey guys, it's Max here, and look, back in my room. So, I'm not going to be recording in my brother's room anymore. I'm doing it in my room. You tell, you see all these blue balls, see all this nastiness. This is all going to change. I've worked hard, been trying to clean this place up like I've been saying for years, but I'm actually organizing to make space to actually do these reviews. So, for right now, we're just going to be doing it in front of my door, just like a couple videos back I did. But, besides that, let's get to what we've got to review. The first one I want to review today is a big one. Ready for this? Deadpool, issue 250. Now, it's actually issue 45. I think so. Yeah, it's issue 45 of the Deadpool series. But they decided, since this is technically the 250th issue altogether of Deadpool, to just make it that and throw it out there. So, I mean, it's kind of in Deadpool-esque fashion to do something like that, so that's pretty cool. But what are the feelings about this? Now, one, this is a thick book. Like, look at that. That's thick. This is an average comic book. Bam. This is super huge. This is a $9.99 book, so this is $10 for this book right here. And there's always something you have to know about $10 books. So when you look at it and it's a huge event, and it's a really big book, and you jump into it, you're like, oh, that means this is gonna be good. You gotta understand something. Whenever, especially Marvel, whenever they have a really big book, a huge book, it's not gonna be all dedicated to that story. I don't know why, but they still have the same page numbering of the original. Sometimes it's less of the actual story, which is only the first part of the book, which is the same thing for this. If you remember back in Deadpool had the wedding issue, it was the same thing. It was a huge book, but only the first part was actually about the wedding, and the rest of it was a bunch of extra what if stories. Amazing Spider-Man did the exact same thing. When it came back, Amazing Spider-Man issue 1, the first part was the beginning of the story, and then the rest of it was just random junk they decided to throw out. This one hits the same thing. It's the same exact formula. So, how do you feel about that? That's really up to you. If you really want to go out there and put down $10 just to buy this one book for only a bit of the story that's actually in it, and the rest of it to be random Deadpool associations. But that's kind of the fun about it, is that the rest of the book is all Deadpool, just him being funny, him being silly. Um, but what's the big issue? Why is this such a big deal? What is up with 250 and what does it mean? This is the book where Deadpool dies. And everybody was like, "Oh, why? How's he gonna die? What's gonna happen to him? How's it gonna be?" I don't want to spoil it for you. It does involve the whole Secret Wars thing coming up, but he's dead. Like, at least this Deadpool is dead. Now, I say that because we know Marvel. We know that Marvel likes to just take characters, kill them off to make money, and then bring them back years later. But this Deadpool, I don't think is coming back. I think if they're going to bring anybody back, they're going to come out with a new Deadpool or find some weird way to bring a new Deadpool into the media. I mean, they can't kill out the character completely. I mean, look, they're having the Deadpool movie come out next year. So, he's obviously a huge property character. They're not just going to get rid of him altogether. But I can definitely tell you, he dies in this book. So, you can't exactly rate the entire book because it's really up to opinion. The first story, which is the actual ending of Deadpool, was fantastic. It was beautiful. I thought it was done extremely well. The rest of the stories, it's really just up to you on how you feel with story 1, 2, 3, and 4. I liked all of them equally. They all hit like different parts of Deadpool, so I thought that they were very well. There was one with him and Kid Apocalypse, one with him and his wife, so it's a good story altogether, and I really don't feel like I was cheaped out for the $10 I put together just to get this book. But at the same time, that is $10 that you're spending on a comic book that really means nothing because it's only the first part of the story. So I would like that if they ever did this again, to have the actual story be printed in in a digital form and put that up for the regular price or even a discounted price of like just $2 for the actual story, and the rest of it be if you want to read the rest, pick up the book kind of a thing. That's what I would see them doing later on, but chances are they're not because this book guaranteed sold well. Guarantee it. Because of the fact that it's Deadpool, because of the fact that it's 250, because of the fact that they made it such a big deal, and because it is the last issue of Deadpool. So I know this is gonna sell well, so to them they're thinking everything they're doing is right. But it's really that's my thoughts. Okay, so I thought it was a good book. I think if you're a huge Deadpool fan, you've been collecting this entire series, pick it up. It's good. If you just want to start, if you haven't read anything of Deadpool and you want to jump on, this is also a good book for you because it's got the rest of the stories. The first part you're not going to understand, but you're going to feel like you're picking up just a random book, which is fine for you. Um, but honestly, I would say if you haven't read any Deadpool, just go back, start this entire series from the beginning. Read the entire series. Read everything from Deadpool. Cable and Deadpool. It's one of my favorites. Just everything Deadpool related, just pick it up and read it before actually reading this book because you will have some tidbits that you don't really understand. But it's not too crazy, I guess. But anyway, that's this. Again, if I were to give it a 5-star rating, honestly, I would give it a 4 because it was good for me. But that's because I'm a huge Deadpool fan. But for you, it might actually be different. It might be lower, might be higher. You might only like the main story and hate the rest of the stories. But to me, I look at it as just the main story that I give the 4 out of 5. The rest of them kind of kept it steady. So that's it for right now. I've got more reviews coming up, so stay tuned, and I'll talk to you guys later.